What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chopping It Up Braves podcast. Once again, I am Aaron. It is August 10th after the five-game Marlins series and also the three-game Brewer series that I didn't get to cover before this Marlins series started. It's been up and down week for the Braves. We obviously had that series against the Marlins where we got just absolutely crushed. We had no chance in any game. Just a really rough showing from the Braves. But then we got the Marlins series, lose game one. I'm thinking, man, we might lose seven straight. We're just not looking like the right team. Then we go on to win four straight. Win that doubleheader. Played really good the rest of the way. Pitching was okay. The starters were fine, but bullpen still having some struggles. But with that being said, we're just gonna get right into this Brewers series recap. Starting off with game one. Game one lost 3-1 to the Brewers, and it, I can't really blame anybody. Eric Fetty did what he could. Only gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. No strikeouts, which is questionable. He's been pretty below average since he's gotten to the Braves. But three runs, 5.1, nothing to complain about in that game for Eric Fetty. Quint Priester obviously went seven, two hit, one earned run. Just really not a great performance from the hitting in the in this first game of the Brewers series. There will not be a series MVP for the Brewers series, but there will be one later for the Marlins series. So we'll get into that after. So game one, pretty uneventful game. Only ended up being 3-1. Uh, Most of the team didn't even get a hit. Profar, Olsen, and Nacho Alvarez were the only people that ended up getting any hits. Each of them with one. So yeah, just a very uneventful game. Profar hit a home run pretty early on, and after that, nothing really happened. Um, just a rough game offensively, as I said earlier, and then zeros all across the board for the rest of that game. So not much to talk about here with this Brewers series, or with this Brewers, or with game one of this Brewers series. Sorry, but moving on to game two, another loss. Obviously, got swept by the Brewers. Lost 7-2 during that primetime game, and we just got killed this game. Never really stood a chance. Scored four in the third, and then after that, we just didn't respond offensively. Joey Wentz had a really nice outing last time. Rough today, or rough. Sorry, not today, but when this game happened, pretty rough. So, uh, lineup performed better than it did in game one. Alvarez, White, Harris, Baldwin, Olson, Profar, all with hits. Baldwin and Eli White with two. Eli White has kind of continued his hot streak after Acuna landed on the IL, and he's kind of taken up that right fielder spot full time after Acuna landed there. Kind of got shut out by Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta's a great pitcher. He's been good in the past. He's still good now, in my opinion, at least. Oh yeah, he's having a good season. Um, so yeah, not much happened. Eli White scored both of our runs this game in the fourth and seventh. Uh, Tyler Kinley came in, gave up a run in 1.1. Austin Cox came in, gave up a run in 2.1. So just overall a very uneventful game for this Braves offense, but the Brewers kind of hit us around a little bit. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to talk about this Brewer series that much. It already happened. It happened it happened like 4 or 5 days ago. So just moving on to game three really quick. Uh, Strider got absolutely shelled this game. Gave up 11 hits and 4.2, five earned. Uh, a lot of people are worried about Strider right now. They're saying his velo's down. He's maxing out at 97, 98. I don't think there's really any reason to be worried. Chris Sale has gotten a few, I think he's gotten multiple Tommy Johns, and he's come back and he obviously turned into a Cy Young winner. Still throws 97 at 36, I think is how old he is. So I just wouldn't fret too much about Strider's dip in velo or his poor performance this year. It's very rare that you see pitchers having fantastic or great years after coming back from Tommy John. It just doesn't happen too often. But with that being said, lineup, we got hits this game. I mean, 5-4. Um, we came close, scored that run in the ninth. Gave me false hope that we could make a comeback and win this game, but it's the 2025 Braves. Nothing like that will ever happen. So, um, always with a hit, Ozuna, Murphy, Profar, Harris. Uh, yeah, those are our only hits of the game. Oh, and Alvarez. Sorry about that. Yeah, just not much to talk about here. Aaron Bummer, Daysbel Hernandez, and Raisel Iglesias came in. They kind of locked down. Daysbel has looked really good since he's come back from AAA. Honestly, I don't really understand why we sent him down in the first place. I understand he walks a lot, but you're a struggling team. There's no reason to send down a guy that has a sub 2.5 ERA so far. Halfway through this season. Um, that's really it for the Brewer series. Um, so yeah, moving past that, Austin Riley once again landed on the IL, which prompted Nacho Alvarez to come up and play okay for these past two series. Um, yeah, it's really unfortunate with Austin Riley because he obviously played pretty much every game for the first like 4 years of his career, and then his kind of his I think his lower abdominal area is where he's being affected the most. He strained that a couple times this season and landed on the IL both times. He should be coming back relatively soon, I believe. Um, but yeah, it's just really unfortunate with what's happening to Austin Riley this year. He didn't need to make that play in the Speedway Classic. I talked about this before he landed on the IL, but he didn't need to make that play. So, it's not his fault, obviously, but what are you going to do about it? Um, yeah, so that being said, moving on, Hurston Waldrep got called back up, which I absolutely just love for this team this year. Obviously, we're in a situation where any help we can get is, the best. This doesn't make sense. This metaphor I'm saying doesn't make sense. But whatever like help we could get is, obviously positive to, this already lost season. He played fantastic in this Marlins series. Um, I'm really impressed by him this year. He wasn't great last year. He struggled a lot with control. He didn't have, that I think it's the cutter he added. That's been a really good pitch for him this year. Um, he pitched game one of that doubleheader, went 6-1 runs, six strikeouts, four hits, one walk. His control looks really, really good this year. I'm really surprised with how he played against the major league lineup. Um, he's played two iffy offenses, with the Marlins and the Reds, but a win or yeah, a win is a win, especially with a young pitcher like Waldrop who had struggled in the past in the majors, and I'm just really happy that he's succeeding now and doing everything well. But before we get to talking too much about game one of that doubleheader, let's just go back to the first game of the series and this five gamer against the Marlins. Five gamer happened because I believe a game earlier in the year got rained out. So first game of the series, want to correct myself by the way, we did not win game one. My timing is all messed up right now. I'm off of school. I have nothing going on. I don't know what day of the week it is. So um 8-run game, really nice comeback win. Or not even comeback win. Or yeah, comeback win. But really nice comeback win for this team. I haven't seen us put in this much effort in a game in a long time. Won 8-6. Everybody but Michael Harris, Profar, and Nick Allen had a hit, and technically Nacho Alvarez, but he got pinch hit. Um, so yeah, just a really nice hitting performance. Drake Baldwin with one of those games I feel like he's been having a lot more recently where he hits like five RBIs, which he did in this game. Hit two home runs, 2 runs, 3 hits. Just a really, really nice game for Drake Baldwin, who continues to make his Rookie of the Year case for this team. There's no question in my mind. I might be a little biased, but there's no question in my mind that Drake Baldwin, should be the Rookie of the Year. It's the easiest decision ever. Batting two, or I'll get into his numbers later, but not to hold on to him too long. Carlos Carrasco was pretty rough this game. He got shelled in the second, allowed 5 runs, but ended up tightening up, went 5.2, 6 earned. Gave up 9 hits though. Um, so he's another one of those guys that we picked up just because we needed depth at that position. Who's also been pretty below average ever since he's gotten here. Dylan Dodd came out to finish out that 6th inning, didn't give up a run, and then Pierce Johnson, Dylan Lee, and Raisel Iglesias all combined for 0 runs and 5 strikeouts. So a really solid bullpen game for a change with this team, whose bullpen has been struggling a lot recently, especially with Dylan Lee and guys they DFA'd at the trade deadline, who are thankfully gone now. Raisel Iglesias has been really good in the last ever since coming back from the All-Star break. He's been lights out, back to last year form, 2023 form. Just been really solid so far um, for this team ever since coming back from the break. Moving on to game 2 of the series, we took a loss, 5-1. This is part of the reason why I'm so I'm not angry, but I'm so perplexed by this team because we go out and we go crazy. Obviously, Edward Cabrera, good pitcher, but it's a little bit mind-boggling that we can go from scoring 8 runs to 1 run, and that's a frequent pattern that I'm seeing so far with this team this season. So obviously, Edward Cabrera, 8 innings pitched, 1 earned, 11 Ks, 1 ball, or 1 walk. Just a really good performance by him. I'm not going to talk him up too much because he's not on my team. So yeah, just a completely dead offense this game. Jurickson Profar hit a home run. He was one of 2 hits. Michael Harris also got a hit this game, and uh, that's really all I have to say. We got rocked. Dylan Dodd came in, pitched 3 scoreless, played good, 4 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed. Um, but yeah, I really have no words for the lineup this game. Just absolutely atrocious from everybody playing in this game. Bryce Elder went out through six 5 run innings, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, gave up a homer, 7 hits. Uh, he's I'm holding out hope that he can find it because he's had games where he can throw like 6 scoreless and like 8 strikeouts, but then he has these games against the Marlins where he just gets completely blown up before the Braves even have a chance to score a run. And once this team is down 5 runs, we're not coming back. It's just not going to happen. Um, just something that doesn't happen this year. Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, but not anymore. We're not in that time anymore. Moving on to game 1 of the Marlins doubleheader. Uh, Obviously, I talked about Waldrep a little bit already, but just talk about him some more. He played fantastic. Like I said, continues that momentum from the Speedway Classic, 2-0 in the season. Super impressed by him. Good job, Hurston. Matt Olson with 2 hits, Drake Baldwin with 2 hits, Michael Harris with 3 hits, Albies and Eli White both with 1 hit during this game. Really solid performance by this lineup. Once again, scored 7 runs, super inconsistent scoring with this team, but a win is a win, especially this year, like I said earlier. Pierce Johnson, Dylan Lee, and Tyler Kinley combined for 3 shutout innings. Just a really solid, good play by the pitching staff, by the bullpen, and just an overall really solid game by this whole team. Obviously, this was the debut of Jen Powell, the first female umpire in MLB in the history of the MLB in the regular season. Um, so congratulations to her. Really cool thing to happen, especially for the Braves who haven't been getting a lot of attention this year. But obviously, that's not what the main thing behind everyone talking about it. So it's a great thing. Go Jen Powell. But yeah, moving past this, Jurickson Profar. Holy guacamole. Um, Watched the possible catch of the year live. I don't think it's catch of the year, because Lawrence Butler exists, but just what an unbelievable catch by Jerks and Profar. Um, he's made a lot of boneheaded mistakes on defense in the last couple weeks, especially that one ball during the Brewers series that just kind of like went over his head or he slipped or something. I kind of forgot what happened. I want to forget that series as soon as possible. But he had that really rough defensive play against the Brewers, and I'm thinking, there's no way he makes this catch. There's no way he's a bad defender at this point. And then he goes out and he makes, the second best catch of the year. So good for Jerickson. I hope he picks it up on defense. I hope he picks it up overall. He had a really good series though. Hit a couple home runs. Just played really solid. Like I said, there will be a series MVP um, for this Braves Marlins series. But moving on to game two of this series, we swept the doubleheader, won 8-6 in game two. Marcell Ozuna with a huge go-ahead home run in the sixth or fifth or sixth. I kind of forgot which one. I think it was the fifth. Um, but yeah, great game by this lineup. Really good comeback win. Like I said, something we don't see a lot with this team anymore. Them scoring in the seventh made me a little bit nervous. I didn't get to watch this game. It wasn't on for me, but just seeing those notifications on my phone just made me nervous that we were going to choke this game away after a very good comeback in this game. So let's dig into the lineup a little bit. Profar with a hit. Profar, Olson, uh, Ozzy Albies, and Vital Brujan, who we claimed off of waivers. I forgot to mention that he got a hit. Got two walks. Pretty solid game for Vidal there. And Nick Allen all with one hit, and Baldwin, Ozuna, and Harris with two hits. Really good game from the lineup. Marcell Ozuna had a really good series. Wink, wink. Um, so, yeah, pitching. Like I said, Eric Fetty, or I didn't say this already, but Eric Fetty pitched this game. Not great. Five earned in four earned in 5 innings pitched. Sorry, four walks, four strikeouts, five hits, allowed nine base runners. Um, that's not necessarily a recipe for success in baseball, but we ended up winning. Um, Eric Fetty, once again, one of those guys that have just kind of been mid ever since they've gotten here from, either claiming them off of waivers or, just giving like cash slash nothing to these teams. We played really well against Sandy Alcantara, who's been hot recently. He was, considered as a big deadline piece because of how well he's been playing recently. But we played good against him. So, um, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Iglesias with the save. Um, and yeah, moving on to the last game of this Marlins series, which happened a couple hours ago. 7-1, Braves win. Another good performance by this lineup. Profar two hits, Olson two hits, Ozuna hit with a hit. Michael Harris with two hits, Albies with a hit, and Nacho Alvarez with a hit. Yeah, just a really good performance by this lineup. Uh, scored some late runs that really helped us which really helped us get over the top of this Marlins team. Joey Wentz had a really nice outing, 5.1, one earned, two strikeouts, three balls, four walks. Gave up some base runners, but ended up pitching just fine for us to win this game. Daysbell closed out that sixth, and Dylan Lee, Pierce Johnson, and Tyler Kinley combined for a scoreless 3 innings with two strikeouts. So just a really nice game for this Braves team. Jen Pell behind the plate. So yeah, congratulations to the Braves for winning a 5-game set and almost sweeping the Marlins. But with that being said, it's time to hand out the series MVP, and this series, MVP goes to Marcell Ozuna. I'll be mailing you $50,000 tomorrow. So congratulations, Marcell Ozuna, for winning series MVP for the Marlins series. During the series, he hit 366, 8 RBIs, and 4 home runs. 4 home runs. You heard that, Marcell Ozuna. You win series MVP. Um, it was once again between Ozuna and Harris. Last series against the Reds, it was in between Harris and White. So sorry, Michael, that you're getting shafted every time. But Marcelo's going to play great this entire series. He's been really hot, playing a lot better, walking more, getting on base a lot more. Ever since he kind of went cold, kind of halfway through through the year. Um, Speaking of Michael Harris, I'll shout him out really quick, even though he didn't win Series MVP. Since the All Star break, Michael Harris is batting 359 with 33 hits, 6 home runs, 11 RBIs in 23 games since the All Star break. This is a guy that's been slumping since like the very start of the season, and he's really picked it up. So I'm really happy for Michael Harris. He's on a 4 game hit streak. Last 3 games he has two hits. So I'm just really happy for Michael Harris. I hope this means that Alex Anthopoulos kind of retracts what he says about trading Michael Harris and listening for trades for him in the offseason. I'm just really hopeful that he continues this until close to the end of the year or the end of the year, and then carries it over into the offseason / gets better as or after like during the offseason and into next season. So really good job, Michael Harris, this year. Um, Already talked about Hurston Waldrep a little bit. I'll just praise him a little bit more. He's been great. There's no reason we shouldn't keep him up, especially when guys like Carrasco are going out there, um, pitching, 5 innings, giving up 6 runs every time. Um, so yeah, just congratulations, Hurston. I think he probably earned himself a roster spot. Obviously, he got called up not just for the doubleheader or 27th man on the team. He got called up, which doesn't always obviously mean that he's going to stay up for a while. But I'm hoping that is a sign that this team will, or that the front office will keep him up in the majors for just a little bit longer until, um, or, for a while after this year. When we have some guys leaving, and we have a few spots open in that rotation. Um, and next, last topic of the day. Um, Nacho Alvarez. Obviously the AAA player, he wasn't really expected to play at all this year. Um, but Nacho Alvarez, since getting to the majors, he hasn't been fantastic this year. He wasn't great last year. He's obviously still young. He's only 22, but I'm not really worried. Obviously he's only here for Austin Riley's stay on the IL, but so far batting 191 in 14 games, or in 51 plate appearances. He only has 2 walks. You don't really want that in a player. He has a 255 OVP and a 255 slugging, making for a 510 OPS, which is a 44 OPS plus. Um, so yeah, it's just not really great for Nacho so far this year. I'm sure he'll pick it up once he has space. He can get acclimated to the majors more. He's been up and down obviously since Austin Riley went down with that first injury, and then a few weeks later he lands back on the IL again. Um, so yeah, Michael Harris, back to him, up to a 239 batting average now. His OPS still isn't fantastic, but this is a guy who came out of the All Star break batting like 215, and he's already back to like a 240. And if that keeps rising, I'm hoping he'll have a somewhat similar numbers year to last year. Obviously, he hasn't been playing at the same pace as last year, but he'll just have a numbers year that is similar to what he had last year. So yeah, just really good, really solid past 7 games for the Braves, except for that Brewers part. But really good 5 game set against the Marlins. And with that being said, that will conclude this episode of the Chopping It Up Braves podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys probably after this Mets series, and I'll give a quick recap on that. So with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Go Braves.